High above the clouds, on the tallest mountain on Earth, there is a place where climbers don't look at maps. They don't check GPS. They don't ask how far they have left to go. They look at a human body. If you ever climb Mount Everest, someone will eventually tell you a sentence that sounds unreal the first time you hear it. When you reach green boots, you're on the right path. It is said calmly, casually, as if it refers to a rock or a flag placed in the snow. But green boots is not a rock. It is not a signpost. It is not a nickname given to a location on the mountain. Green boots is a man who once stood at base camp, breathing normally, laughing with his team, and looking up at the same summit everyone dreams of reaching. A man who trained, prepared, and believed that experience and discipline would be enough. He climbed this mountain with a plan, with hope, with the same dream that brings people back to Everest year after year. But instead of leaving footprints on the summit, he left something far more permanent behind. On Mount Everest, some climbers reach the top, some turn back, and a few, like the man known as Green Boots, never come down at all. They don't disappear, they remain. Mount Everest rises 29,032 feet into the sky, so high that it touches the edge of human survival. At this altitude, helicopters struggle to fly, metal cracks in the cold, and the human body begins to fail without warning. The mountain is so massive that it creates its own weather, its own rules, and its own graveyard. More than 300 people have died here, and many of them are still on the mountain. Unlike anywhere else on Earth, Everest does not return the dead. The cold preserves them, the snow hides them, and time leaves them exactly where they fell. One of those bodies became so familiar to climbers that it turned into a landmark. Long before he became a warning carved into ice, he was David Sharp, a 34-year-old climber from Liverpool, England. He had a name, a family, and a future waiting for him far below the mountain. Friends remember him as quiet but determined, someone who loved the outdoors and had spent years scaling smaller peaks in Europe and Asia. He came from a world of normal air and warm ground, where Everest was still just a distant white peak on the horizon, a dream rather than a threat. But to David, Everest was never just a mountain. It was the ultimate challenge, a test of endurance, courage, and skill that demanded years of preparation and absolute commitment. He trained relentlessly, pushing his body to function with less oxygen, to move while exhausted, and to think clearly while freezing. He learned how to climb when his fingers went numb, how to breathe when the air felt empty, and how to keep going when every instinct screamed to stop. When it came time to pack, nothing was left to chance. Ropes were checked and rechecked. Oxygen cylinders were counted carefully. Food was measured for calories, not comfort. Every piece of equipment had a purpose, because on Everest, forgotten gear can mean death. And then there were the boots. Bright green mountaineering boots, thick, insulated, designed to survive temperatures that could kill exposed skin in minutes. Boots built to stand on ice at the edge of the world. Boots meant to protect him from the mountain, never meant to outlive him. In 1996, David joined an expedition attempting to reach Everest's summit from the northeastern route, one of the most dangerous paths on the mountain. This was not a reckless attempt by an amateur chasing fame. It was a calculated climb by a man who understood the risks and believed he had prepared for them. He had climbed before, peaks in the Alps, in the Himalayas, and several technical climbs in Nepal. And he knew what thin air did to the human body. He knew how quickly weather could change, how easily frostbite could set in, and how even the smallest mistake could become fatal. Like many experienced climbers, David believed that discipline, planning, and experience could reduce danger to something manageable. Everest would soon remind him, and the world, that preparation does not equal permission. On this mountain, no amount of training guarantees survival, and sometimes even the most prepared climbers never come back down. That season, Mount Everest was more crowded than it had ever been before. Dozens of climbers from different expeditions moved upward at the same time, all racing against the same narrow window of good weather. Progress slowed. Bottlenecks formed high on the mountain. Every delay consumed oxygen, energy, and time, three things no one could afford to lose. He climbed among them, moving carefully, conserving strength. Each step was deliberate, each breath was shallow. At that height, even experienced climbers feel their bodies fighting back. The air felt thin and empty, as if each breath arrived unfinished. But he kept going, trusting his training, trusting his plan. Then, without warning, the mountain turned. The wind rose suddenly, screaming across the ridges with violent force. Snow swept over the route, blinding climbers and erasing the path they had just used moments earlier. Visibility dropped to almost nothing. Temperatures plunged so fast that exposed skin began to freeze within minutes. Fingers went numb, faces burned with cold, equipment iced over. High above 26,000 feet, in the death zone, the human body has no ability to heal or recover. It is already operating beyond its limits. Oxygen deprivation clouds the mind, movements slow, judgment fades. Simple choices, when to stop, when to turn back, become dangerously hard to make. Every step upward steals oxygen from the brain, every pause drains strength from the muscles, and every mistake carries a cost that cannot be reversed. During the descent, he began to fall behind. Maybe he stopped to rest for a moment too long. Maybe his oxygen ran low. Maybe exhaustion finally caught up to him. No one knows for certain. In the chaos of the storm, climbers focused on their own survival, struggling just to stay upright and find the route down. Somewhere high on the mountain, separated by wind, darkness, and confusion, he vanished from sight. What happened next was never fully witnessed, because in the death zone, there are no clear endings. People don't collapse dramatically. They don't call for help loudly. They simply slow down, sit down, and fade into the cold. And on Mount Everest, when that happens, the mountain keeps what it takes.